mic. Okay, let me check on my phone. Or actually, let me check on twitch.tv to see if it is, if we're alive. Yeah, but it's got me. The last time I streamed, I was streaming some like mobile game, so I need to change that. Not that it matters really. I don't think like using Twitch is going to be like the thing, but the good thing about using Twitch is that it like automatically uploads a copy of the stream. So it's almost like a backup.
Yeah.
Let me see Miguel's chat.
No, I think it's Miguel.
I think that you should get rid of the green screen because I think it really adds like a edgy, like entrepreneur in the thick of it.
In the thick of it.
Yeah.
It kind of does. It kind of does.
Miguel said to boost your audio. I wonder if I can do that.
I'm
He knows.
using,
He knows.
if you need me to hold my iPhone like a microphone.
I just think this is funny that the Riverside, I titled it First Podcast and it said First Podcast Take Two. So I think that's really funny. It knows what's going on.
I like it. Sounds like a podcast.
So like I was texting you, I think we'll just like record like, I don't know, three short sessions or whatever. And I guess we'll just like intro each one as if it's the first one. I don't really know how like the do's or don'ts for podcasting or anything like that. I assume that you just talk into a microphone for a little bit and then you stop talking and then you're done.
I think that's the general idea.
Miguel said that's basically it. And I had GPT come up with a bunch of different like content topics. So I'm gonna name off a couple of them just to see like which ones you like.
Go for it.
How to research stocks.
That's a good one.
Crypto tokenomics.
I like it.
I like that. Avoiding scams in crypto. Long-term investing basics. There's a bunch more than that.
I like it. A lot of juicy material there.
Here we go. This is 20 episode ideas tailored to our goal. Investing 101, the psychology of trading, stocks versus crypto, understanding market trends, common investing mistakes and how to avoid them, decoding crypto wallets, the magic of compounding, how to read a stock chart like a pro, how to spot a scam, the role of market makers, the best free tools for beginner investors, the truth about passive income through investing, and then crypto mining explained. Any of your fancy?
I like the psychology one, and I also like the one on finding stocks. I mean, they all sound good.
We can record them all. It's great content. We'll note down the psychology one and then how to research stocks, and then maybe long-term investing basics. Okay. Miguel, how's that? And how is my audio? Is it too loud? Yours is great. Shar tall.
Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
I think he left. He's done.
How's that? Is that better?
Maybe afterwards I can just adjust your audio in like post or something. That's a cool term, right? Post. Yeah, I'll hit it in post. I'll do a little bit of post production.
We got B West in the house.
And yes, his phone is acting as a peripheral to his laptop, which I think is pretty cool. Because you're on the MacBook Air?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Okay, let's do settings audio. You can adjust your input. Settings audio. Is that something that Shar needs to do, I assume? Settings. Yeah.
Should I go back to MacBook Air speakers and adjust that?
You can if you want. I don't know. Yeah, it's not urgent, but he's like 60% as loud as you. From your settings, Shar, you can go into General Mac Settings, Audio Controls, and then find where you can control your input. Should part of my shtick be that I've got two microphones?
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. Let's just do a little bit of chit chat. Would you like to introduce the first episode, or how do we do that? It's a little different when I feel like if you have more than like two people, you've got somebody who could be like a designated host or whatever.
True. Why don't you? Your voice is very soothing. Why don't you? You can, kind of open us up, kind of explain what we're looking to achieve with this
That's the thing. I don't know what we're trying to achieve, but
information for the people.
that's right. Okay, welcome for the start. Well, hey, welcome to the Stonkcast. This is the podcast for the people talking about stocks, meme stocks, all the above, investing, all the fun stuff. I'm your host, Ethan. I claimed host spot. I'm sorry.
And I'm your co-host, Brandon.
For those of you that are joining us just via audio, what you're missing out on is Brandon's got a green screen now, and he's blocking us out from what I think is the most important part of his background, and that's the fact that he's in the garage in front of the inventory.
That is true. I have a lot of inventory behind me. Kids' pajamas, hot commodities,
It is a hot commodity.
not publicly traded.
Speaking of commodities, today we're going to be talking about why research is your best investment strategy for whatever commodity you're looking into. I think that investing has become something of a hot topic over the past like 5 years,
Yes.
starting with Robinhood making investing into securities and whatnot much simpler and easier, and then obviously things like GameStop happening really blew the scene up and introduced a lot of people to the idea of investing. And as far as who I am, I'm somebody who got caught up in GameStop and subsequently after that caught up in AMC, or maybe parallel to that, caught up in AMC, GameStop, and then kind of got the bug for trying to learn how to make money from trading. And then crypto, of course, with I didn't get onto the Doge train, but I did get into the Shiba Inu train just in time to lose $200. So that's who I am. I think that probably would resonate with more people than someone who's successful.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, a very similar similar background. Started, dabbling in the stock market probably about 5 years ago on Robinhood. Actually, my stepdad actually sent me a referral for Robinhood back in 2019, and I had whatever referral stock was on there for almost a year before I opened the app again, and I opened it and saw that the shares I had were up like 30%, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And so that was the beginning of the bug, and that was in the fall of 2020 when I logged back in, and then obviously we had GameStop and AMC shortly after that, basically in Q1 of 2021. So I hopped right in, not so much in GameStop, but AMC for sure. I was heavy in AMC. Remembers many conversations about AMC and GameStop that kind of ran in tandem. Sympathy plays. What were some other ones that were in there?
I vividly remember where I was when I found out how much you had and potential profit.
Yeah,
I was
I'll never forget that.
I was in my in-laws' basement and I was sharing with Morgan the multiple digit, because I'm not sure how comfortable you are sharing how much, but the multiple digit potential profit that you had.
Yeah, that was June of 21 when AMC had a halt up. Um, During one of those halts, let's just say I saw six figures on my Robinhood account. Did not capitalize on those six figures, um, but that's why we're here. Hopefully, somebody can learn from our mistakes. I think in the market you have to pay tuition, and that was mine. That's how I consider it. Very expensive tuition.
That's a good point. What was the do you recall what the like the freebie stock was that you were given?
I knew you were going to ask that. I don't actually. I believe it was, no, I don't remember. I think it was some kind of tech company. But you know how they give you a referral? It wasn't, I don't even think it was a full share. I think it was like half a
It's
share.
probably a fractional, yeah.
Yeah, it was a fractional share. But like I said, I hadn't opened my Robinhood account in a year almost. And when I did open it up, it wasn't up, but it was enough to spark, my interest. And I quickly hopped into top gainers and then tried to hop on anything that was moving. So yeah, that was really the beginning. And yeah, with AMC, I mean, I think I got into that. You were in GameStop before I got into AMC, but I think I got into AMC in January of 21, and I held that thing probably a solid 6, 7 months. I was definitely less of a trader and more of a position holder at that point.
Right. I know mine was for Webull. I had a Paramount share. I don't know if it was a full share either. I think it was fractional, but I had Paramount, and then I should have doubled down into that, or since it was only a fractional share, I probably should have 2000% it into it or something, because Paramount over the past couple of years has really jumped up a whole lot. I think when I received a fractional, they might have been in like the tens, and now I think they're trading over $30. Cool. Well, so it's important to learn and research, and I think that that's probably the point of what this first episode will be, is that it's exciting to get a fractional share on Robinhood or Webull or whatever platform offers it, and you receive it. But if you don't do any research, then you're effectively gambling. At least that's my position on it. I think that you can throw money at a company and hope for things to go up. I mean, ultimately everybody hopes for things to go up, but if you don't do any research, then I think that you are just hoping for something to happen or to come into fruition.
Yeah.
So investing without research is like driving blindfolded. Next thing you know, you're going over the cliff. And I think for me, there's two examples, like modern day examples of people who do research well. And I think the first will not be surprising, and it's Keith Gill, also known as Deep effing value. I don't know if we're allowed to use his actual terminology, but or Roaring Kitty, who was, if someone doesn't know, he's the one who really put GameStop on the map through his, I think it was like weekly positional updates, and he just kept doubling down despite people calling him dumb, and various other things. But if you go back and you look at a lot of his previous live streams, he's got a Google sheet open and he's looking at a position. He's reading their 10Ks. He's going through the actual like paperwork. He's not just scrolling through Robinhood and doing what both me and you did, which is top movers and thinking they went up today, surely they'll go up tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think you would best classify him. You know him a bit better than I do, but I think it's fair to say he's essentially the modern day Warren Buffett.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's a smart dude. I think that with the volatility of GameStop and some of the, I don't know what the word is, but with the volatility of it, it's easy to dismiss him. But when you look at those live streams, you see that he knows what he's trying to do.
For sure.
And he did it well. I mean, he's got, I think, estimated he went from like a $50,000 investment in GameStop into like 30 million. So he's done pretty well. And then the other, you love him, you hate him, but he was part of the Wall Street Bets community. Martin Shkreli, I think is how you say his last name. The Pharma Bro. He does live streams today, post incarceration, and he if you ever watch him, you won't really know, what's going on, because he's just like scratching his greasy hair and playing with his cat in the background. And then he goes back to like actually like looking at the 10Ks of these companies and going back to his Google sheet or his Excel sheet. So I think that the two of them, who I really look up to them as far as their investment into research before their investment into a company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's due diligence.
Those are my two. Do you have anybody that you really look up to?
When it comes to the investing side of things, now to be clear, I do more short term, but when it comes to the long term side, right now I'm going through the Intelligent Investor, and that is essentially the investing Bible, is how Warren Buffett has described it. And that book in particular does a really great job of just kind of laying out what it looks like to, invest in a company, what you're really looking for when it comes to things like price to earnings ratios and understanding, when a company is overvalued, I guess. So that's something that I've really been digging into when it comes to the investing side, especially considering not the luck, I shouldn't say that, but the success that Warren Buffett, you know, has had with that. But Benjamin Graham is the name of the guy who wrote The Intelligent Investor. It was originally published in 1949. He was a professor, I believe, of economics, and that's really what I've been going through right now and taking some pretty heavy notes on it. I'm still working on that, by the way. Got to get that over to you. Still working on that one, but yeah, it's that's really what I'm just chewing on right now. And as far as investing goes, that's the main one for me.
Is there, for me, I really only have a, a position with GameStop. I have a couple crypto positions, but GameStop is the only traditional position that I have
Yeah.
for a stock. But is there anything that you particularly look at, like annual reports or 10Ks or balance sheets or anything like that?
Yeah, I like to, when it comes to the investing side, balance sheets, are obviously huge. You can learn a lot from that. I think beyond just the balance sheets, I also like to, and I think Roaring Kitty does this too, but looking at insider buying, right?
Yeah.
Looking at what are the insiders doing for the company? Are they buying up stock? Are they selling stock? It's not a guarantee of anything per se, but it's usually a pretty good insight into how they feel about their own company.
Yeah.
So I like to look at that. I also, the price to earnings ratio, I like to see that below, 20, 25, which is really hard to do nowadays. I mean, Tesla's price to earnings, I haven't looked at it lately, but it's got to be absurd, way beyond that. And, I'm sure at some point we'll do an episode breaking down some of the terminology when it comes to long-term investing, but um I think that's definitely a key component for me. Insider buying, price to earnings ratios. I want to see liquidity for sure, cash flow statements, making sure they're actually bringing in revenue. It's funny how many of the pump and dumps that we see in the biotech space, they have no money on hand. They have nothing. And so obviously from an investing standpoint, that doesn't go well. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. That like for traditional investing in stocks, it's much more useful to follow where the inside or institutional trading is happening, since the institutional buyers are going to be able to make these big purchase orders that are multiple hundreds. Usually they're probably multiple thousands to tens of thousands shares per order, and that's really what's going to drive your growth versus like community engagement, which is much more significant of a factor with crypto projects. Is what is the community buying into? Is there a ton of people in the Twitter space or X space? I don't know if Blue Sky is where like a bunch of the crypto people went to, or if they stayed on Twitter or whatever. But okay, what about like red flags? Are there any significant red flags that would cause you to say, okay, it's time to like sell a position that you have?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your outlook, right? If we're talking long-term investing, I always like the balance of technical analysis and fundamentals. I don't really like being heavy in one and not the other. When it comes to investing, I think you need a balanced approach. So, for me, it's from a fundamental standpoint, any kind of serious negative news that the market was not anticipating related to a company. That could be a loss of a product, that could be an SEC investigation, that could be, a board member stepping down, getting fired, anything like that. Those are negative, especially if they're losing market share. I'm trying to think of a good example that I think one of the most highly shorted stocks in the EV space has been Nikola, right?
Hmm.
NKLA.
Yeah.
And if you look at their stock price, a little over a year ago, it was like $60 a share. And now I think it's down to like $1, if that. It's just been, if you just look at that yearly chart, it's just been a slide down as they've really lost ground to competition like Rivian and obviously Tesla being the sector leader. So yeah, any kind of negative news like that, and you can have the best fundamentals, but if the chart is showing a lot of selling pressure on a long-term basis, you want to buy low, sell high, but I don't want to buy low if it's going to continue low. So, I want to look for, a trend to be established. I want to see it curling up. I want to see volume backing that curl up to kind of justify it. So,
Hmm.
yeah, those are a few things I look at.
I think for crypto, if you're looking at a token, something that I think is very obvious is like centralized token ownership. So that's something that Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl, got into a lot of. I don't know if it's disproven. I don't know if you innocent until proven guilty, I suppose. But there was that map getting shown on a bunch of other shows or podcasts or whatever, or YouTube channels of the ownership of the tokens and how there was a lot of insider ownership and whatnot. So I think with crypto, it's a lot easier to be able to like see how much is held by founders or whatever. Whereas it's I think it's possible in the security space, but you have to really dig a lot. Does that sound accurate?
On the crypto side,
Well, for just regular stocks.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and I think it's important too that I mean it's like what we were talking about earlier, right? Like you can I went through a season where, I would just look at top gainers
Right.
on the day and I keep track of my trades now. I use a journal called Edgewonk and it's German based and they just have so many analytics in there. They're so fabulous for tracking like
Oh yeah, the Germans.
the Germans,
They're so good with their
they know what
tracking.
they're doing over there. Yeah, it's you can really become a victim of FOMO. It's
Yeah.
it's very very easy. You see something going up and you just assume it's going to keep going up and you in it and then it just tanks on you and you feel like trash and you feel like why'd I do that again? That took me, honestly, probably about 3 years to really get a grip on.
Disassociate the emotions from it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Emotions are huge. And really I feel like that's half the market, right? On a daily basis when you're watching the market, what you're seeing is just emotional reactions a lot of times to various things, whether positive or negative. And I think what really separates the professional traders and investors from the amateurs are those who can control their emotions, be able to look at things objectively, not trying to retire in one trade. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest downfalls of a lot of people hopping in the market now.
Yeah,
So,
I think the Wall Street Bets, that subreddit really did a lot of damage to people's perception of what realistic
yeah.
gains or losses are. Yeah,
Yeah, you see the guy who, made $1 million overnight. That's anomaly, right? Like that's not common. And I think a lot of people, to your point, look at that and they go, I can do that too. Oh, this
yeah,
is easy, and it's just it's setting yourself up bad. That's one thing I have to constantly remind myself. My long-term goal is to be able to do this for a living. And that's not a sustainable end if I continue to do emotional trading. So for me, that's one thing I try to avoid. There's a lot of methods and a lot of different ways to attack that. I like to follow SMB Capital on YouTube. They're a proprietary trading firm based out of New York, and they put out so much good material on YouTube for the trading community around trading psychology, how to overcome FOMO, things like that. Uh, those are some of the things I try to dig into.
yeah. And just one last point is like the dividend investment portfolio. what I'm thinking of is like you want to make like 4 to 5%
Yeah.
annually, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what a lot of people say like is a realistic goal.
You're doing
But
good.
then yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah.
But then people see on Wall Street Bets this guy who just made a 2,000%
Yeah.
profit, which is
Right.
unrealistic. Yeah.
Right.
Is there for your research routine? Is there any particular like website or anything? You started to hint on that or whatnot as far as a process, but what's your process?
Yeah. For investing or trading or both, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I like to, there's a really in-depth screener. Uh, what's the name of it? I'm blanking on it right now. Give me a second here. But yeah, I mean, there's a host of different stock screeners that you can find on Google, especially nowadays. Like there's so many different ones out there, and you can filter a lot of them for various things, right? A FinViz
Mm,
is
yeah.
probably the number one stock screener, and it's a free site. They list the top gainers, top losers, but you can really get in depth with the screener depending on what you're looking for. If you're a long-term investor, you can filter the list by market cap. You can filter it by, the float. You can filter it by the PE ratio. You can, a bunch of different things. On a short-term basis, if you're more of a technical trader, you can filter it for different technical setups, whether it's a wedge or a bull flag or, anything like that, any kind of consolidation happening. That's probably um, one of my favorite tools to use just for keeping an eye on things. I think it's also important to remember too that, certain setups, they don't happen overnight. A good example of that is, just what we've seen over the past couple months with Tesla.
Hmm.
Really that was a beautiful trade setup post, Trump's, election went back in November. But if you look at the past 2 months on the chart, that thing has just been skyrocketing, and there's been many numerous trade setups, within that time frame. If you drill down into a 5, 15, 30-minute chart. So, um, sometimes it's just a matter of finding something that's moving and keeping it on your watch list,
Yeah.
not just for the day, but maybe for the next month, right?
Right.
Sometimes it pays to be patient. So
Yeah. Okay. I think I really like Yahoo Finance or
yeah,
Market Watch.
yep, Market Watch too. I like them a
Either
lot.
either one of those for crypto. Really just like Reddit or Twitter or 4chan.
Yeah,
Going on to Biz and looking at 4chan. So I think for those that are listening and for the two of us, it would be a interesting experiment just to pick like one stock or crypto this week. And like, you remember in elementary school when you had to go through the newspaper and like pick out a topic to talk about?
yeah,
I think pick a stock or crypto project that you're curious about
yeah,
and just follow it throughout the week. And just like if you want to put money into it, put money into it. But just say, I'm going to put $2 into Ford this week and just see what Ford does. I think that'd be a fun project to do.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, we covered why research is key, how to start, what to avoid, maybe some individuals that you could mimic. And ultimately, investing is about playing the long game. It's about researching smartly. It's not about throwing money at the wall and expecting things to happen. So, next time we'll talk about something fun. And that's it for today, right?
That's it.
Cool.
Have a good night.
Okay, I added a marker. And that'll be number one. You ready for another, or you trying to get out of here? What would you like to do?
I'm probably good for 20 more minutes. So thanks, Miguel.
Yeah, thanks.
What a freaking guy.
What would you had mentioned potentially talking about like investing vocabulary?
Yeah, I think we could definitely get into that. Honestly, that one might take a bit more research beforehand. I would want to be a bit more prepped just to cover because that can be a pretty in-depth topic.
Yeah.
How do you feel about doing a short bit on what's hot right now? Like the Trump coin that's gone up 70%. No, no, not DJT, not the stock. I'm talking about the crypto coin.
The crypto. I really don't know anything about it, but let's do it. Bye, Miguel. Love you. Thank you.
Thanks, Miguel. Love you, bro.
I'm gonna see.
Well, we don't have to do that if you don't know anything about
I just looked it up. GPT's got me.
it.
All right. This will be fun. This will be. We're doing it live. All right. I'll do a little quick intro, and then we can cut tomorrow. I'll do like some editing or whatever. Make it
Yeah, yeah.
2 episodes.
We can make it. We can make it short.
Yeah.
Just make it short.
Welcome to the Stonkcast. This is Ethan, and I'm here with Brandon.
What's up? What's up?
Today,
What's hot?
Brandon wanted to talk about a rundown on the Trump coin.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So, as we know, President-elect, soon to be President Trump, in less than 24 hours, is going to be inaugurated. And Friday night, he kind of did something unprecedented and dropped his very own official meme coin, which has just been just a wild west of entertainment over the past 24 hours, more than 24 hours now, I guess. I believe, just taking a look at the chart, I believe it opened up somewhere around $20. No, it was less than that. All I know is the market cap for this meme coin quickly shot up to 70 billion.
Oh my
That's with a
gosh.
B, with a B. So, needless to say, there's been a lot of money to be made this weekend into the Trump coin. And so I just want to take a couple minutes just to kind of break it down, maybe offer some fun predictions on what might happen. Ethan, you're a bit more versed in the crypto world than I am. I've been having some fun with it this weekend, trading it, and kind of drinking from a fire hose with some of the technical buy sell bets on these crypto exchanges. A little different than your stock market, which is what I'm more comfortable with, but
They can
take the
feel a little.
opportunity.
They can feel a little bit like you're selling an organ to like a Latvian
Yeah.
merchant in the middle of the woods. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. We're gonna need a blood sample for this buy order. Yeah, it's very interesting though, because there's opportunity is key, right? The only way we make money in the stock market or in the crypto space is we need volatility. A lot of people who are risk adverse, they don't want anything to do with volatility, but we need that. We need that as traders. We need that as swing traders, position traders, even investors need movement to make a profit. So, when you look at something like a meme coin, majority of them, spike up and drop out. But I think you're dealing with something a bit unique here, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Unique for a few reasons. First of all, just the market cap that we're at. I mean,
Right.
we peaked at 7 billion. I think as of right now, we're hovering at 45 billion. So this isn't, by a standard, this isn't your standard pump and dump, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know about you, Ethan, but I envision a pump and dump as happening within a 30-minute window. We're on day two and this thing's still holding strong at, multiple billion-dollar valuation. So do I think that means it's here for the long run? I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I don't really think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ethan, but I don't really think it has much of a utility. I think it's more just hype around, President Trump, but nonetheless, it provides opportunity, and I think it's kind of fun to imagine where this might be headed over the next couple days. I mean, especially with tomorrow being Monday with inauguration, like I don't know, it's the all the rage right now. So, what are your thoughts on it as you're just learning about it?
Yeah. I think
Does it feel like GameStop again? Does this hit a sore spot?
it feels worse.
It feels worse.
If I'll be honest with you, because I was just thinking, I was just reading about the ownership of it.
Yeah,
80% of the total supply is held by CIC Digital LLC and Fight 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 LLC, which are entities affiliated with the Trump organization, which affiliated could mean anything. It could mean nothing as well. But if that is true,
yeah. What do
then
you make of that?
those would be hallmarks of pump and dumps, which which is something that
Try to avoid.
we try to avoid.
Yeah.
I think it is notable. We can read the white paper if they have one. If they don't have a white paper, then that is concerning, isn't quite the word, but anytime like with tokens and meme coins and whatnot, they most often will have a white paper associated with them,
Okay.
which I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's to me, it tells me that they have a serious project with their coin, because the white paper will go over, most of the time it'll go over what the utility of the token or the project is, and it explains many times the background and whatnot, because a lot of tokens are associated with a project
Mm-hmm.
that has a utility, that the token is a almost like a byproduct of the project. But I'm scrolling their website and I don't even see a white paper or an attempt to show one.
Interesting.
And I see a very flattering image of Trump that lacks a belly.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, fight, fight, fight. I mean, it's a pretty cool looking image. I'll give that. And I'm going
Yeah.
to save the image
Yeah.
just to prove to you that NFTs have no value. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Just to prove it. Yeah.
yeah. But
That's a good idea.
so there's 20 million Trump coin on day one. And the website says that it will grow to a total of 1 billion Trump coins over 3 years. Each group's allocation are released on their own schedule over 3 years. So I'd assume that this like rolling release would help stem a pump and dump,
Right.
since they have what looks like only 20% of supply in circulation. So I think that could be a factor that would cause someone to not be as hesitant to put some money into it. I hesitate to say to invest in it, but
Yeah. No, 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 definitely short term.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think it's a good way to practice swing trading, though.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely more of a technical analysis play, not so much an investing play for sure. But I mean, there's definitely been some, higher lows on the chart, some dip buying opportunities, and if you have some good, price targets, you can make some decent money on this. So,
I mean, just yesterday it was $25,
right. We're sitting.
ranging. Which yesterday was it released yesterday or on the 17th?
So it was released on Friday at like 10 p.m., I think, 9
What
p.m.
an odd time to release too.
I know. I know. But yeah, right now it's at, just a hair under 44 bucks. So,
Man, and I had a all-time high of 74.59.
yeah.
Is that accurate, or no, 75? I think it was up to 75.
Yeah, I think it was this morning actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6:40 a.m.
Isn't that nuts?
So while I was restfully sleeping this morning,
Right.
somebody was unloading some bags.
Yeah. Needless to say. Yeah. Somebody was definitely doing that. Definitely.
Very interesting.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting coin. I'll be curious to see what it does overnight. We had somebody sold a crap ton a couple hours ago, and it took a dip from that high of 75 down to about 40. And it's kind of been consolidating right in that 40 range ever since then.
So what do you anticipate happening?
Well, I think 50 is a psychological level. So far, it's kind of struggled to get above that after the big drop, of course. So I think we still have some hype coming with the inauguration being tomorrow. So I think if it can get above 50 with some volume behind it, um, this thing could, I mean, this thing is the Wild West right now. You're going to have some massive swings. It's all the rage on social media. So obviously there's a lot of eyes on it, which means there's a lot of people trading it. So you're going to get some volatile action up and down. So I think if it can get back above 50, I mean, heading into tomorrow, this could easily make a new high, crack that 75 range. Best case scenario, if it does that, I could see it go into 100, honestly, which sounds crazy. I mean,
Hmm.
with the way this thing's
Do
been
you
moving,
do you
it's had a lot of strength.
do you see any sympathy plays with Solana since it's on the Solana network?
For sure. Yeah. If you look at Solana, it actually I think it made a new high. I don't know I'm pretty sure it was all-time high yesterday.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I think it touched almost 300, if I'm not mistaken. So, and that's one of the relationships I don't fully understand because I don't follow crypto as closely. I don't know as much about it. But yeah, I could definitely see that being a sympathy play. You have a host of other meme coins like Elon, official Elon. You got a Baron one. There's a few different ones that could be sympathy plays and kind of benefit from this. But the problem with most of those, as I've seen so far, is the amount available. I mean, the burn rate's got to be absurd because I think the official Elon, the total supply is like 1 trillion. So, that's going to take a lot to move. What's interesting to me about the Trump coin is the supply is 1 billion,
Yeah.
which, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as meme coins go, seems relatively low. So, I think there could be
Yeah.
something there.
A lot of the I guess memeier coins have a much higher cap. But I will say that the significance of Solana is that that's the technical ecosystem that the Trump token lives in. And that's where the coin is, I guess, hosted from, is a good way to put it.
Interesting.
I'm not really sure what their like network is, like their technical capacity is compared to other environments,
Right.
but I'm fairly certain that Solana is like a very efficient and speedy blockchain, and seems to be one that a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people seems to be one that's looked at favorably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's the Trump token as
That's
of
token.
Friday night at 10:30, or Sunday night at 10:30.
We'll check back in, see what we're looking like later next week. I am in it right now, so we'll see how we're looking.
I'd like to have a token for every member of Congress.
Yeah, I would like that too, actually.
I
I
would
like
like a Pelosi token.
that would be great. I feel like that thing was skyrocket in a day.
I think we're onto something.
I think that would go up, and Nvidia would simultaneously go up with it. Yeah, that would be a play there.
I like it. Okay, well, hey, next time we'll dive into the technical aspects of the Pelosi token. But
Next on our list.
thank you for your time, and we'll catch you next time. Boom, we did it.
Look at that too. We got two in.
Whew, that's a little bit more exhausting than I thought it would be.
Yeah, no kidding. I need to go eat something.
Okay.
No, this is fun. Um, we can now we got to figure out how to get an audience, but then we need to yeah, I like the idea of having different topics for each little segment. We can cover obviously a lot of different things. I think getting into, psychology, we did the investing thing, we can break that down with terminology like you mentioned earlier. So, yeah, there's a lot of different directions we can go with it.
One thing that I think would be fun to do would be to have like almost like a pop culture segment,
Mm,
and then to like look at the underlying stocks that may exist for that pop culture like thing that's happening. Like, TikTok, the obvious security would be ByteDance. If they, I don't know if that's tradable in the US or not, but
I like it.
yeah, we'll figure
Sweet.
it out. That was fun though.
That was good, man.
All right. Next time you need to be in your closet.
I do. I do. It basically looks like this.
It's funny. Well, hey, buddy, I appreciate it. I will edit stuff
Sweet.
tomorrow and send you some clips and stuff.
Sounds good. All right, man. We'll have a good